What's up, guys? It's Seth bringing you another PC build. Now this one's going to be the first that I've done in probably like 2 weeks. The main reason for that is because I've been really busy with school having started and just homework and all that stuff, so I haven't really had time. During the summer I have a lot of time since I'm at home, a bit more than when I'd be at school during the school year. So that's why I'm not going to have videos as often, but I will try and get a few out each week, so make sure to stay tuned for all those. For this one, it's going to be the Extreme Gaming PC. Now, this is probably not going to be for the majority of you viewing because of the price. I'll tell you ahead of time before you even bother watching the video. Although, even if you can't afford it, it is kind of cool to see what the parts would be if you could. And it's going to be around $7,500. And that's probably $5,000–$6,000 more than what most of you want to spend on a PC. So, to get the Extreme Gaming PC, which is pretty much the highest quality, best performing products that you can get right now, it costs a lot of money. So, like I said, it won't, be great for all of you, but it is kind of an interesting thing to look at. So, going into it, you're probably asking why I'm choosing the 3930K for a CPU, because it's not the Extreme series, and the Extreme series CPUs from Intel cost around double the $550 price that is on here right now. The reason for that is because those are not good for gaming. Well, let me rephrase that. They're fine for gaming. They're as good as the 3930K, but there's not a benefit to spending that extra $500 or so in order to get very minimal performance benefits. So even on an extreme PC like this one, I don't see a reason to have a CPU like the 3960X from Intel, or the other Extreme series LGA 2011 CPUs, just because there's really not a big benefit. So that's why we're using the 3930K. To cool that, an H100, again, just going with a simple liquid cooling. If you're going to spend this much, you might want to look into learning how to liquid cool your PC. I mean, it's going to be fine using this H100, but knowing how to do it yourself will allow you to cool things like the motherboard, the memory, the video card is probably the biggest other thing. Just, kind of to learn how to do that, because if you're spending that much money, you do not want something to burn out because of heat or something like that. And the biggest issue would probably be with the video card, because the H100 will cool the CPU perfectly for pretty much anything you would be using it for, so don't worry about that. Then for the motherboard, this is an amazing motherboard. Pretty much has every feature you could possibly want, and is really one of the highest level, most expensive motherboards you can find. One, because it's a 2011 motherboard, it's more expensive, and really no 2011 motherboards that are somewhat good are even under $200, but still, this is $430, and you can find them cheaper. You can go with something like the Sabertooth. That would be fine too. It's in, I think, the $300 range, not the $400 range. But for an extreme gaming PC, I do recommend this. This is one of the best motherboards possible. The Asus Rampage IV Extreme 4 Extreme. I think that's what IV is. I don't know. I don't know my Roman numerals or anything like that. I'm not very good. But anyways, 32 gigs of RAM, Corsair Vengeance, DDR3, 2133 RAM. So basically, it's going to be a bit faster than that 1600 RAM that most people would be using, and it doesn't cost a terrible amount. 325, I guess. It's really not that bad for. 32 gigs of RAM. You can do gaming and pretty much any workload, workstation type stuff that you could possibly want to do with this set of RAM. For our main storage, it's going to be 3 terabytes of internal. I don't know why I'm saying that, but 3 terabytes hard drive, and it's the Seagate Barracuda 7200 RPM, perfectly fine for just regular storage. For the main drive, I should say, for the operating system, games, and pretty much everything, it's going to be the Intel 320 series 600 gigabyte SSD. Intel, easily the best SSDs on the market. 600 gigs of SSD basically means that you can put everything that you could possibly want to load fast onto this drive without any issue at all, and that's why the price is $830, because it is such an amazing SSD, both in quality and in performance and in simple size. 600 gigabytes is not something you normally find on an SSD, but for an extreme gaming PC like this one, I do recommend having a big SSD. this is where things get pretty, interesting. I kind of sat down and was wondering whether or not I wanted to do dual 690s. I guess I could do 3 690s, but having one graphics card does have some benefits in that it's easier to use, really, and easier to set up and whatnot. So, this is not a graphics card you're going to find in many places. I do have a link to it in the PC part picker link below, but you're not going to find it in most places and in pretty much any build because it costs $4,000 for the most part, $3,935, because it's just simply amazing. This thing is going to mainly handle any possible thing you could throw at it. It's going to pretty much run games at max possible speed. Like, you're not even going to be able to see how great it is because your eyes can't even, see that type of performance. And it's an amazing graphics card. I can't even explain how nice this one is. The PNY Quadro 6000. You are not going to find a graphics card that costs any bit more, and pretty much no extreme gaming PC is going to have this graphics card because it costs so much money. But I was able to fit it into this without. My goal was to knock over $10,000. I was well under that by a couple $1,000s. There are a few things I could change, maybe do. I don't know. There's not a lot of things other than going to an extreme CPU that would really bump up this build. But this graphics card, you will not be disappointed. It's easy to, plug in and use because of the fact that it's only a single GPU instead of doing dual or triple graphics cards. Sorry, I'm getting all confused. But anyways, this is just an easy to use one, and it's going to provide the best performance possible on the market. Sound card. Sorry for the blurry pictures on some of these things. They're kind of blown up from the normal size. But the Asus Xonar Essence STX sound card, pretty much the best sound card you can find. It's going to really be about as good as you can get. One, it's from Asus, means great quality. And two, it's really one of the only, discrete sound cards that has good performance that's really better than what you would find on just your motherboard. And I do recommend having it because if you're gaming, then you want to have that great sound, and you definitely will be having it with the Asus Xonar Essence sound card. To kind of store all of this, the Cooler Master HAF X. Now you're probably wondering why I'm going with such a normal case, because a lot of people seem to have the HAF X, but it's because it's high quality. Cooler Master, they're a brand that I trust, and 2 or 3, because it looks nice. It's a very simple type of style, but the simple fact that it's an HAF PC case, means that it's going to have amazing cooling performance, even with just the basic fans that are already included, after you take out the top fans and put in the H100 CPU cooler. So, can't really go wrong. To power all of this, we're going with a Thermaltake, I think that's how you say it, Thermaltake, something like that, TPX-1475, so yes, it's a 1475 watt power supply. Basically means you can do whatever you want with it, and it's not going to have any trouble powering stuff, because even with that insane CPU and that truly insane graphics card, it will be able to power it without an issue at all, because honestly, you're not really going to find a power supply that's above, say, 1600 watts, so obviously 1475 is pretty much going to power everything you could need. Probably the least important part of this build is the Blu-ray, DVD, CD, drive writer thing. This is from Plextor, which is not a brand I'm super familiar with, but it has great ratings, and it looks, pretty much like a normal Blu-ray drive, and actually any optical drive pretty much looks like this one, but it's around 145, and great performance for Blu-ray if you're into using Blu-ray. I'm not personally a big Blu-ray type person. I use a lot of just regular DVDs, but if you want to play it, then go right ahead, because with the graphic card and CPU in there, might as well have the highest end that you can have. And of course, Windows 7 Ultimate, the best operating system right now on the market. You can go with Home Premium. It's not going to matter for performance really. But also, if you're watching this video and say a few months from the release of this build, go for Windows 8, don't go for Windows 7. Although Windows 7, fun fact, just became the most popular operating system on the market and beat out XP by a few percent finally, since the few years ago that it was released. So just kind of a fun and interesting thing to tell you. But Windows 8, definitely go for that once it's released, for the higher end version of Windows 8, of course, because it's a high-end PC, high-end PC. Sound like I said high-end PC or something. I'm sorry, I'm tired. But anyways, this is the end of the build. Comes out to a total of $7,611.89. That is after mail-in rebates and does not include shipping. So you might be looking at around $7,700. No, that's way too much. $7,750 maybe, because you're buying it from a bunch of different retailers to get the best prices on these products. So it might cost a little bit of extra for shipping. But don't be discouraged by that. It's more than well worth it. I understand that some PC builds people are going to throw out there like $10,000. You don't need the stuff that's in a $10,000 build. This is going to give you basically the best performance you can possibly find. And like I said, if the only thing that you would really benefit from upgrading would be the CPU to the 3960X and not the 3930K. But the 3930K is going to be perfectly fine. But anyways, all the links to this stuff is in the description, with the PC part picker link to show you the best retailer for each and every part to get the cheapest price and the best deal and all that great stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, comment, favorite, send me a message, ask me a question, tell me what other build to do next, because I'm always interested in doing other builds. And yeah, so just tell me what you want. That's the biggest thing. Comment and just tell me all that great stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.